Donkey Kong Country 3 Dixie Kong's Double Trouble, the last installment of the Donkey Kong series if you don't count the one where you shake a stick to play. It was developed by the American company Rare, which is known for such fantastic games like Banjo-Kazooie, Killer Instinct, GoldenEye 007, Connect Pro. Oh, wait. We don't talk about that one. This game is usually known as the worst of the Donkey Kong Country trilogy, and that's fine by me if you think that, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily a bad game. Why do people hate it so much? Is it because of Kiddy Kong? He's not that bad, is he? Alright, maybe he is, and his annoying cry he does when he dies doesn't help either. Now, the Donkey Kong Country trilogy is renowned for its supreme story, and the writers at Rare have obviously been hard at work for this one. So Baron K. Roolenstein, nice name, right, has kidnapped Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. This K. Roolenstein guy is something else, ain't he? Decided to kidnap 2 Kongs instead of 1, so now there's only 1 Kong left. But luckily for Rare, they were able to pull Kiddy Kong out of their asses, and he won 3 awards for Best Supporting Actor in a Video Game ever since. Hey, if you asked me, I'd say it's even better than the first one. The graphics weren't as polished in that one as they were in 2 or 3, and some of the level design is just outright bullshit. Do you honestly tell me that's good level design? Can you honestly tell me that? Because it's not. It's not. When replaying through the game, I also noticed the difficulty had dropped down quite a bit from the last 2 games, which isn't necessarily a bad thing though, and it's easier to get lives in this game. I died a lot playing this, but I kept a steady amount of around 30 lives because they were so easy to get. Hell, it's even easier to get lives in the levels themselves instead of the mini-games that are meant solely for gaining lives. After about 2 rounds of this, you'll be handing Cranky Kong's wrinkly ass to him on a silver platter, but you'll have to beat him around 20 times before a reward worthy of touching Cranky's ass is acquired. I feel like this game knew it couldn't reach the godlike standards of Donkey Kong Country 2, so it just tried to make itself unique in its own little way. The overworld was 3D and you could traverse it any way you wanted to, which was a nice change. They even added little secret birds that have been frozen in carbonite that you could save by playing the game as Simon Says with the crystals. Alright, so yellow, blue, yellow, red, yellow. Okay, I got this. Here we go. Yellow, blue, yellow, red, blue. God damn it. You can also talk to bears. There weren't any bears in the first 2 games, which means this was the best. I feel like the bears really shouldn't fit, but they're a nice addition. I've grown quite fond of them. Except for this guy, he's just an ass. His name's Bizarre, and he sells items needed for various puzzles in the game. But Jesus Christ, 50 coins for a mirror? For that kind of money I could get half an hour with Candy Kong. Damn whore. And what's it used for? Well, Baffle here is a self-proclaimed master code breaker, and he's stuck on one. So you get this, give him the mirror, and it turns out that the code was just a sentence backwards. This guy, he's good. I don't know where I was going with this. You can also buy information from Bizarre. Hey, who lives in the castle? When I got up to the property, there was a stay off land sign, so I just ran away. Now, I wouldn't be so mad if I didn't pay him for this information. That's like if I go up to a bunch of kids and say, hey, I'll tell you what's inside the haunted house if you give me 20 bucks. And as soon as I get the money, I just go, look kids, I'm gonna be honest with you. I never went to the haunted house. Just walk away. While we're on the topic of characters, let me introduce the Kongs. You've already met Cranky, but you haven't met Swanky. He runs the actual minigame. You also got Funky, who decided to give up a career of defying physics to become a mechanic. You have Wrinkly, she likes to play video games and exercise. What a fitting combination. Now when it comes to the gameplay of this game, it's basically like the last 2. You can roll and jump, and Dixie can hover using her anatomically wrong hair. Seriously, when's the last time you went to the zoo and you're like, hey, look at that monkey, it's got its hair in a ponytail? It fucking never happens, alright? Kiddy Kong also has a special move, but by God is it infuriating. When you do a roll into water and push the jump button, the exact moment you hit the water, you'll bounce off of it. But the timing is so difficult that it usually takes 3 or 4 tries. And this level here has certain parts to it that require you to do this, but it also has a goddamn swarm of angry bees chasing you. So if you miss the time, you have to start all over again. Why can't I? It's so difficult. Why can't I do it? The art style of this game is quite unique. The first Donkey Kong Country didn't really have a theme. If anything, it could be jungle themed, I guess. The second one had an obvious pirate theme, which was really nice. This one is more mechanical themed, but it doesn't make itself as apparent as the second one. And the bosses, ooh, these guys are a wild bunch. You got everything from a giant barrel that eats bugs to 2 shells with a glob of gum in the middle to Frosty the Snowman. And this snowman, oh boy, he's the thing of nightmares. Just listen to his laugh. That laugh, it gives me chills. take a look at this guy. He's one creepy son of a bitch. None of the bosses are really hard, just have to find the strategy to them, or don't screw up by goofing off. The enemies also got a little work on them for this game. The bees are robots, you got crocodiles that jump on their tails, and fish that are clownfish. Get it? Like I said, Rare has some truly fine riders up at headquarters. I guess it's worth mentioning all the bonus stuff in this game. We have these silver bear coins, which are used for minigames and buying useless information. The DK coins collected by killing one of these guys in every level are used to unlock a goddamn helicopter. Look how cool this thing is! The gold bear coins are used for unlocking levels in the Lost World, which is a secret world that must be completed also for that elusive 100%. Oh, excuse me. 103% completion rate. But why do you need these gold coins? Well, Boomer here has a love for explosives and is willing to blow up rocks in your path for some of these coins. He's the kind of guy you don't want around your house, or anything of value really. In fact, he even got exiled by his brothers because of his loves for explosives. You know who else got exiled because they were a nuisance? Jar Jar Binks. I'll just let that sink in a bit. And this music just, oh, it's so good. David Wise, you are a god among men, and truly when it comes to the art of music, very wise. But in all seriousness, have you been listening to the stuff that's been playing in the background? It's so good. And the title theme just gets me so pumped to play this game, which is exactly what a title theme should do. And speaking of music, take a listen to this. Sound familiar? Yeah, that's because it's from Super Mario 64. Now you might be asking yourself, the Super Mario 64 ripoff of Donkey Kong Country 3? But alas, that is not the case. This game came out several months after Super Mario 64, meaning Donkey Kong Country 3 was the one to rip off of another game. In fact, take a look at that! Yep, it's a Nintendo 64. This game actually didn't sell as well as the other two because of the fact that it came out way after the 64. People lost interest in the game because it was 2D and didn't have enough of them polygons. I think they just didn't market it well enough though. Pokemon Black and White came out way after the 3DS and everyone bought those games. Everyone except me. Oh boy, it's this level. Let me recreate for you my first playthrough of this level when I was 8, alright? Well, this level looks different. I guess I'll just... oh gee, that bee just got struck by lightning. Better stay on my guard from here on out. Oh, what? It died already? Alright, I guess I'll take another shot at it. Whoops. Alright, this is getting fucking ridiculous. Damn it, I'm gonna go play outside! After playing the game as my much older and wiser self, I still didn't realize how to beat it until I looked it up. Turns out the lightning flashes up in the sky like a second before it hits the ground. Now, after I learned this, it seemed like a good way to teach the player of a level's gimmick, but I never did learn it when playing through it twice. So does it make it the game's fault, or mine? I'm gonna go with the game. Yeah, it's the game's fault. And now that I know how the level works, it's still really freaking difficult. It doesn't help that when you jump in the water and the lightning strikes, it doesn't matter where you are in the water, it'll still kill you. I would even venture to say it's one of the hardest levels in the Donkey Kong Country trilogy, but it's still nowhere close to Animal Antics. That level gives me headaches just thinking about it. Oh, I forgot to mention something else this game has. Dialogue. It's very out of place in this game. It makes me just question what Rare was thinking, but whatever. I'll just roll with it for now. You first encounter dialogue when you beat the final boss. Or so you thought, because after he flies away, you find out the real final boss is Baron K. Rulenstein. But I think I already told you this earlier in the video. Dixie and Rulenstein bicker back and forth, and then the fight starts. After you beat him, you find out that Donkey and Diddy were being used as batteries of sorts for that giant Abraham Lincoln robot. And then after a quick discussion, they all decide to beat up Cranky Kong. Yay! And then they show you a really long credits where you get to learn all the enemies' names. Naturally, I didn't watch it, neither should you. And really, that's the game. I do realize that there is stuff I missed that has to deal with completing the game 103%, but I don't want to spoil it for anybody. I know that this game is 17 years old, and who cares if I spoil it, but playing Earthbound just wasn't the same, since I knew that Porky here would... Well, I guess I would give this game a rating of 7 out of 10. It's pretty good.